What is a little known but obvious fact that will make all of us feel stupid? Uppercase letters are called that because they could be found in the upper drawer of a printing press. Lowercase could be found in the lower case of the printing press. So what were they called before the printing press? Minuscule and majuscule. I've got to Google this and Googled. That's a really funny fun fact. And the uppercase letters are also called capital letters, since they are often found in the beginning or head of a word sentence. Capital comes from the Latin caput, meaning head. You can open difficult or stubborn pistachio shells with another half pistachio shell. Save your fingernails. This reminds me that the easiest way to scoop a broken eggshell out of raw eggs is to use another piece of eggshell. This was one of the most helpful cooking hacks ever. You can also wet your finger with water and it'll make it easier to get the shells out. Similar, sort of, to the fact that the best way to pick mussels out of a shell is to use another mussel shell, both sides still connected, as a pair of tweezers. You can absolutely motor through a bowl of them this way. A caterpillar doesn't just grow wings on its wiggly body. Inside its cocoon, it breaks down into a gooey substance, keeping only a few key parts. From this goo, its body is rebuilt into a butterfly complete with wings. I don't think how is this obvious, though. It took years for scientists to actually understand and see this. It's really interesting, but far from obvious. Because we have all learned about the butterfly metamorphosis in school. So why don't we know this? It is little known and should be obvious. Your response could be said to nearly every response on here. Yeah, I think just the pufferfish was kind of obvious, that they use water instead of air to inflate themselves, because, well, there's no much free air in the ocean. But the rest, yeah, they're not that obvious, but it's pretty much the same for every answer to every askreddit question. The component parts of the word helicopter are not heli and copter. It's helico, meaning spiral-shaped, like the word helix, and pter, meaning wing, as in pterodactyl. I love etymology. Yes, awesome. I've been learning modern Greek, and the best part is that time and time again I'm having my mind blown by the etymology of words I had been using my whole life. Examples. Polynesia equal sign. Many islands, Mesopotamia equal sign between rivers. BTW, the dactyl, in pterodactyl means finger, so its name literally means winged or feathered finger. Your pee is filtered out of your blood by your kidneys. There's no direct route for that glass of water from swallow to kidneys to pee, like food/poo has its own set of pipes from in to out. Water goes into your blood circulation absorbed through the gut, and at some point gets lifted by your kidneys along with other waste products via your blood. It sounds breathtakingly obvious to many of you, but I teach AANDP as part of my job, and many people don't initially realize that. They assume that there's some separate tube that takes fluids direct to the kidneys because they've just never really thought about it. Related? Breast milk is also made from your blood. Stay hydrated. I remember when I breastfed, I was always thirsty, like unbelievably thirsty, so this makes sense. So that's how dialysis works, by filtering out the blood. Exactly that. The amount of fluid/waste/electrolytes taken out of your bloodstream by your kidneys is dictated by hormones. When your kidneys fail and don't do that anymore, dialysis removes blood, runs it through a filter, and the machine can be told how much fluid to remove, amongst its other benefits, before passing the blood back to you. Just as your kidneys determine how much juice you need to pee to retain equilibrium. Additionally, the fact it takes a machine the size of a fridge freezer, some home dialysis machines are much more compact, to do the job of a pair of organs just 3 inches long. To me, it always seems a testament to how awesome our circulatory system is and the complexity of a human kidney. Roller coasters are built to shake. I've seen so many people decide to not get on because of the sway, but it's important. If the support beams and tracks didn't shake, they'd simply snap with all the force from the coaster cars roaring over them. Also, roller coasters, at least the traditional kind, don't have any engines. Typically, there's a slope at the start where a chain in the track pulls the cars up to the top. After that, it's all gravity and momentum. Take some careful design to ensure that the cars don't run out of, metaphorical, steam before the end. I played Roller Coaster Tycoon, I can do it. Poison dart. Frogs obtain their toxin by eating poisonous bugs, like fire ants. When you feed them crickets and such, they are perfectly safe to handle. Username checks out. Really feel like his comment could have ended with, "Sign up here for more frog facts." Flamingos get their pink color from the seafood they eat. Change the food, different color. It's also how they determine the best mates. The pinkest birds are the most well-fed, and so the most fit to raise chicks. White birds get zero mates and have to sit out the season. Well, all know the dinosaurs died out a long time ago, approximately 64 million years ago. But what's even longer, they roamed the Earth for over 120 million years. The Stegosaurus went extinct 80 million years before the T-Rex even existed. On that note, I always thought the asteroid killing the dinosaurs thing was just a working theory, but it was pretty much confirmed not too long ago that it was indeed an asteroid that struck the Earth in the Gulf of Mexico. It was confirmed in 1980 by the Alvarez father and son. The son, Walter, was a paleontologist and was trying to figure out how much time had passed between two layers of rock he was studying. The dad, Luis, was a Nobel-winning physicist and proposed to measure how much iridium had accumulated between those layers. Iridium enters the atmosphere as a constant shower from space, as small meteorites of all sizes fall in, and then accumulates on the ground at a predictable pace. What they found was a concentration of iridium hundreds of times larger than what would be possible from time alone. They then went all over the world collecting samples of the same time period as the original one they were studying, and found the enormous concentration of iridium in all of them. That's how they deduced that what happened between dinosaurs and no dinosaurs was a giant fucking meteorite. Later, the impact site was found in Mexico, as you mentioned, and very recently, it was found that it was an asteroid from beyond Jupiter. We can't even fathom 80 million years. If I watched a human born to the age of 100 and repeated, I would have to watch 800,000 human lives from beginning to end. That's how long the time between the Stegosaurus and Trex. That is insane to wrap your mind around. So many years, so many seasons of ups and downs, life and death. 1 billion is much larger than you think. 1 million seconds is approximately 11 days. 1 billion seconds is over 31 years. If you have $1 million, you are still $999 million away from being a billionaire, but you are only $1 million away from being broke. German chocolate was made by an American named Samuel German, not an actual German. As a European, this makes sense. Hearing Americans speak of German chocolate cake, etc. always confused me, since that is nowhere near to anything actually German. I guess I finally have an explanation. Similarly, Cesar salad was invented by a Mexican whose last name was Caesar. It's not related in any way to Rome. So you're telling Julius Caesar, who has been dead for over 86 years, did not in fact make my salad? And the German chocolate cake recipe was originally from a woman in Dallas, and it was called German's chocolate cake, because it was made with German's baking chocolate. The chocolate introduced by Samuel German for Baker's Chocolate Company, which was named for owner James Baker, who was a physician and not a baker. I came looking for this comment. It's a shame that the myth persists even in threads about facts. It is certainly not hard to research the actual woman instead of crediting German's chocolate. The fax machine was invented in the 1800s, well before the telephone. In theory, a samurai could have sent a fax to Abraham Lincoln. In fact, samurai came to America and visited the White House the year before Lincoln took office. Because of pregnancy, the average number of skeletons in the human body is one. George Washington didn't know about dinosaurs. He may have known about a dinosaur bone named in 1763, Scrotum humanum, but at the time they thought it was part of a giant human and not a dinosaur. You think your skeleton is inside you, but you're a brain, so you're inside your skeleton. This one's trippy to think about. Some things are acronyms that people might not know are acronyms. Laser is light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. Scuba is self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. Radar is radio detection and ranging taser. Is Thomas's Swift electric rifle care package. Care packages were originally known as care packages, and they were sent from the U.S. to loved ones via the Cooperative for American Remittances to Europe following the Second World War. The group eventually changed its name to Cooperative for Assistance and Relief Everywhere as they began to broaden out their charitable reach. The term care package slipped into common parlance, and it's been there ever since. Your skin doesn't have a particular sense organ to let you know if it's wet or not, which is also why those sensory deprivation tanks have you floating on water. When the water is warm enough, your skin stops sensing the wetness, and you forget it's water you're lying in, and you just feel like you're floating in the air. The color blue is extremely rare in nature. We only think it's common because the sky and ocean is blue, but other than that, it's actually pretty rare. Copy-paste is from using typewriters, and people would cover a typo with a little pasted square of paper with the correct word. CC in email stands for carbon copy, which was when a piece of mail had to be seen by multiple recipients, usually in business. You would create carbon copy prints of your mail and send them to everyone plus the primary recipient. We took all the lingo from old communication and just added it to digital communication. Thanks for watching this video. Subscribe, press like, and comment. What facts did you know which can change another people's life? Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.